As Colonel Lee said, I won't say to you, Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day, for me, is not a happy day, but a day to reflect on those men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we, as a nation, might be free. While it is not a happy day, it is a day of celebration. A day to celebrate the lives of those men and women who gave their last measure of devotion so that you and I and all the people who live in this great country we call the United States of America can live free. A day to reflect on the fact that these men and women are not just some name on a wall or on a monument or on an old yellow piece of dusty paper preserved in a museum somewhere. They are not just some faded or not so faded photograph of men and women in uniform sitting on the mantle, hanging on the wall, or lovingly tucked away in a photo album in homes all across this nation. They were our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, and other members of our family. They were our friends. They were a part of a great military family that I also have the honor to be a member of. They were the ones with whom we shared our foxholes, our chow, our packages and letters from home, our brothers and sisters in arms who went with us into harm's way. As I think about these men and women that we have come here today to celebrate, I wonder what they think of the nation as it stands today. I wonder what they think about the moral decay and the push to remove God from a nation that was founded on Christian values. I wonder what they think about the political correctness, even when it flies in the face of common sense. I wonder what those men and women who gave their last measure think of our diminishing status as the most God-fearing and powerful nation on earth, willing to stand up for freedom wherever it may be in jeopardy. I broached this subject not as a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, but like you as a veteran who, as my father often reminded me, I owed this country a debt for my freedom, which I gladly paid. I wonder if those brave souls who we are here today to celebrate, like me, feel that day by day we squander our payment for our debt by remaining silent as a small minority of people slowly chip away at our rights to practice our religion as we see fit. I wonder how they feel about a government that apologizes for this nation's efforts in the past to stand up for the freedom-loving people all over the world. A government that perverts the laws of this nation by choosing which laws they are willing to enforce. I wonder how these brave men and women feel about a government that places guns in the hands of murderous drug cartels, which are then turned against American citizens, and then does everything in its power to remove guns from the hands of law-abiding citizens. A government that would use one of the most powerful institutions at its disposal, the IRS, to stifle the freedom of speech of those citizens who disagree with its practices. If those veterans we come here today to honor could speak, what would they say about a government that would abandon its own diplomats, former members of our military family and others, and then consciously refuse to tell the truth to the American people, and then fail to bring to justice those who murdered them? I wonder what they think about a government that would let one of my brothers, a United States Marine Corps combat veteran, still on active duty, languish in a Mexican prison after accidentally crossing the border into Mexico, while in the country that he so faithfully served, releases thousands of Mexican citizens who entered this country illegally, many of which are criminals. What do those brave souls think about a government which would stand idly by while this nation's most deserving citizens, the veterans who went willingly to give all in the service of their country, the health care they were promised and so richly deserve? I stand before you today as a proud American citizen and a veteran, and I say it's time for all God-fearing and freedom-loving Americans to stand up against those who would remove God from our vocabulary and trample on those freedoms that we hold so dear. In the name of the veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice that we might be free, it's time that we as Americans resurrect that time-worn phrase, "I'm mad as hell and I won't take it anymore." Amen. In closing, I pray that God holds in his mighty hands the souls of those brave Americans who gave their life for this country. I pray that he blesses each and every one of you here and all those gathered at Memorial Day services throughout this nation. But before I go, I have one question for you all. What do you think? Thank you, and God bless.